Hey, Shalom. I want to start off by giving our praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bashim Yahushai Bashim Hakodash. Double honors to the apostles. And that was a great millstone. Peace and blessing to you, brothers, preaching truth throughout the four winds. Um, this video is going to simply be entitled Fools. Okay. Inspired from just conversating with some guys. And it just real funny how they know who we are. The first thing that comes out their mouth is, we're the children of Israel, you know what I'm saying? We're Hebrews. And what comes with that, with them, is seeing that they follow other philosophies like being Egyptians, which lets me know that they watch more than one source of somewhat history and knowledge. You know, I was talking to one particular guy, you know what I'm saying? And he was like, man, I'm a history this and history that, but I could just tell by the names he was listing off that he really didn't know what the hell he was talking about. You know, he was getting just scattered information, you know. But you have to understand in this truth also that growth is a major part of your walk. And what I mean by that is knowing when to truly walk away from a situation. You always defend the gospel, but it's just certain people and certain times where you be like, man, let me get the hell away from these fools. You know what I'm saying? Because he just had a problem with certain things in the Bible, and you could just see it was a lost cause. So I kind of like took the approach of, this is not worth arguing and talking. You know what I'm saying? It was like 4 of us around, but you know what? I just like understood that this guy is stuck in what he's going to believe in. So I just got my little stuff and I walked away, you know. And the older version of me, the younger version of me, I would have stayed there and debated and tried to get in a mind frame of like, bro, this is the understanding. But you have to understand truly that it's a reason 2/3 will be cut off and die. You know exactly when to say it isn't for this guy. Okay? So, because they're fools, spiritually discerned. Romans 16:17. Now I beseech you, brethren, mark them which cause division and offenses contrary to the doctrine which ye have learned, and avoid them. So now, in that mind frame, when a situation comes up and that guy's involved, or I feel those guys are involved, you know what I do now? Simply walk away. You know? There's no need in defending the gospel to guys who don't really even believe in it anyway. You know what I'm saying? Correction is one thing, but arguing with the fool is just ridiculous. You know? They're going to fall wherever they may belong. Period. Proverbs 14:7. Go from the presence of a foolish man when thou perceivest not in him the lips of knowledge. And that's exactly the scripture that I applied through the Spirit. When I saw it was no knowledge there, knowing you're Israel is one thing. But when you start saying we're Moors, and that was his thing too, so I kind of like just let him know, bro, you know what Moor means, right? You know, and he thought he had some history on something, but I kind of like, through the Spirit, gave him a little info, and then I just kept it there, you know what I'm saying? Because you can see he just wasn't receiving it, you know, because it just wasn't in him to, okay? 1 Timothy 6:20. O Timothy, keep that which is committed to thy trust, okay? Avoiding profane and vain babblings and oppositions of science falsely so called. And that was another thing, man. I believe in science, bro. Science just means truth, okay? So when you understand that, you'll understand that science really isn't truth the way the world perceives it to be. Their perception of it isn't truth, because the Big Bang Theory and single cell organisms that led to frogs, and you know what I'm saying, the Neanderthals and all that shit. You know what I'm saying? So just his wording and things just let me know, like, this guy really doesn't get it, you know. 1 Timothy 6:4. He is proud, knowing nothing, but doting about questions and strifes of words, whereof cometh envy, strife, railings, evil summerings. So if, like, when I kind of like walked away from them, I heard them started to go into strife, and it was just like argument starting. Okay? And envy was there because someone thought they knew something, but they truly didn't. You know, so all I could do is really walk away with a smirk on my face, like, wow, bro, the scriptures are 100% across the board, you know, and it tells you exactly what's going on. 2 Timothy 2:23. But foolish and unlearned questions avoid, knowing that they do gender strife. So it was some foolish questions about the Bible, and once I answered one and it was like not perceived, I just avoided all the rest of them and just walked away through the spirit, because I was just like, yeah, this dude, in my mind, I'm like, yeah, this dude, he don't get it. You know, 1 Timothy 1:4. Neither give heed to fables and endless genealogies, which minister questions, rather than godly edifying, which is in faith. So do. Okay? Don't give heed when a lot of genealogies come up where we're these people, or we're those people, and you can't edify a person that can't even stick to knowing they're Israel, but then say we're Moors, but then say we're Nubian. You know, it makes no sense. Okay? So those things you have to avoid. 2 Timothy 2:23. But foolish and unlearned questions avoid, knowing that they do gender strife. So they bring forth problems. Titus 3:9. But avoid foolish questions and genealogies and contentions and strivings about the law, for they are unprofitable and vain. It's worthless. Okay, when you start talking about these things to someone who doesn't know, it's in vain. You're just wasting away your breath, because they're not going to understand it. They're not going to get it. Just that simple. Sirach 8:17. Consult not with a fool, for he cannot keep counsel. So consult is like putting your energy into someone who really doesn't know anything. He's not going to be able to keep up with the knowledge that you know through the Spirit. Okay? So it's pointless. It's very pointless. Okay? Sirach 18:27. A wise man will fear in everything, and in the day of sinning he will beware of offense. But a fool will not observe time. So a wise man, he's going to fear everything, and in the day of sinning, because you have a knowledge of these things. But that same guy I was talking to, just some of the things, like he eats pork, he eats shellfish and all those things, but the crazy part about it is those things won't change even after you tell them, after you give him warning. Okay? So this is Sirach 20:7. A wise man will hold his tongue till he see opportunity, but a babbler and a fool will regard no time. So a wise man is going to know when to hold them and fold them, but a babbler, it's like everything he's saying is correct. Okay? Even though if you can prove something to him, and that was another thing he was on, was basically, I got to see everything. Shows me he didn't walk by faith. You know, everything, I got to see it. Man, I got to see it. I'm a firm believer on seeing and seeing, no faith whatsoever. Okay. Sirach 21:14. The inner parts of a fool are like a broken vessel, and he will hold no knowledge as long as he liveth. So a broken vessel, you can't put a broken vessel back together to where it's genuine. It's going to be cracks in it. Okay? It's going to be cracks in that vessel. So you're not going to be able to hold, he will not be able to hold the this spiritual water. Okay? Sirach 21:18. As a house that is destroyed, so is wisdom to a fool. Okay, you can't build them back up. And the knowledge of the unwise is as talk without sense. So what they're saying don't make sense. And what you're saying to them doesn't make sense to them because they can't get it. They won't get it. They never will. It's like a house that's destroyed. You can't build it back up. All right? This is Sirach 22:8, and I'm going to jump to 11. It says, he that telleth a tale to a fool speaketh to one in a slumber. He's sleeping. He's not going to be able to awake to understand spiritually what you're talking about. When he hath told his tale, he will say, what is the matter? Because the dude can't get it. He says, weep for the dead, for he hath lost the light. And that's the thing. All of Israel is supposed to be able to get it, but they won't. 2/3 will be cut off and die because they're still in darkness. Okay? It says, and weep for the fool, for he wanteth understanding. Make little weeping for the dead, for he is at rest, but the life of a fool is worse than death. See that? It's better off if they're actually dead because they're not going to get the truth. Okay, so it's better off if these people just weren't even alive on this planet, you know, because they go about misleading other Israelites, you know, and now they believe in things that's just so far off, you know, and it's just like the blind leading the blind. Okay, Sirach 20:11. I just went there with Salakia. Sirach 42:8. Be not ashamed to inform the unwise and foolish, and the extreme aged, and contendeth with those that are young. Thus shalt thou be truly learned, and approved of all men living. So be not ashamed to inform the unwise. So, and foolish. You can tell them like, this isn't that, this isn't that, you know, and it might be one person around that may pull you to the side after you walk away and be like, bro, I need to know more information on that. You know what I'm saying? Because that actually sounds legit, you know, but somebody in a conversation may just get and pick up on what you're saying because the spirit might have like guided them to that light. Okay. Sirach 41:15. A man that hideth his foolishness is better than a man that hideth his wisdom. That's called humility. Somebody with humility will understand like, wow, man, let me take heed to what this person is saying, you know, but that's all according to the spirit if it guided them to that light. Sirach 34:1-2, it says, the hopes of a man void of understanding are vain and false. So they have no hope. And dreams lift up fools. Whoso regardeth dreams is like him that catcheth at a shadow and followeth after the wind. Exactly. It's never ending. Okay. Because a fool will believe anything. Endless genealogies. You can eat whatever foods you want to eat, and like they're not going to get the parables of the scriptures to give them the proper guidance. Okay. Sirach 33:5. The heart of the foolish is like a cartwheel, and his thoughts are like a rolling axle tree. So if you look at a circle, you can never tell where it begins. And look at a cartwheel. Once it's full circle, you've made a full circle. So that full circle, you never know where it begins, but it never ends. You just keep going and going and going and going to where it's just like, where does it end at? And that's how it is arguing with the fool. His mind is like a ever-going cartwheel trying to obtain all knowledge of everything, but the thing is, he won't get it. Sirach 31 and 7 and 30, it says, it is a stumbling block unto them that sacrifice unto it, and every fool shall be taken therewith. So everything they learn, it was set up as a stumbling block. Okay? They're not going to get it. It's a stumbling block. Okay? Drunkenness increaseth the rage of a fool till it offend. Okay? It diminisheth strength and maketh wounds. So, that same stumbling block, by them being drunk in the spirit of deceit, it increases their rage because they think what they know is actually true wisdom. Because somebody made it sound enticing and they were intrigued by it. So it has to be truth, But they were set up to be that. Okay, Sirach 27, 11, and 13. The discourse of a godly man is always with wisdom, but a fool changeth as the moon. One day this guy believes in we're Nubians, we're Moors. Then the next day is like Christianity is the way to go. So it just changes. It's an everlasting change. All right. 13, it says, the discourse of fools is irksome, and their sport is the wantonness of sin. So dialoguing with the fool, it irks you. And so much being so irksome, the problem is you understand it's like, man, I've seen this movie before. So you start talking to this person, it's like, you know what? I'm not doing it today. I'm done with that. So you hear those conversations, you kind of like interject your spiritual ear and you hear it and you're like, these dudes don't get it. And you just keep it pushing. You know what I'm saying? You just keep it pushing. Sirach 22 and 13. Talk not much with a fool, and go not to him that hath no understanding. Beware of him, lest thou have trouble, and thou shalt never be defiled with his fooleries. Depart from him, and thou shalt find rest, and never be disquieted with madness. So don't even waste your time. Depart, go away from him, because you'll find yourself, and it's a saying, never argue with the fool, because someone looking in from a distance can't tell who's who. All they hear is arguing. So it's like, man, both these niggas are clowns. You know what I'm saying? So let the Spirit guide you to knowing when to speak and when not to speak. Okay? Hope this is edifying. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Shem Yahshua, Shem Kakwadash, double honor to the apostle, knows great millstone. Peace and blessing to you, brothers, pushing the truth throughout the four winds. Till next time, Shalom.